always to talk to our good friend Congressman Dan Webster. How are you, sir?
I'm doing okay.
Man, we have just one superstar on the show after another. You got to feel pretty good about the off-year elections, don't you?
I feel great about it. That was a shot in the arm to us, a shot in the stomach to the Democrats.
What was some of the reaction from some of your Democratic colleagues? Did you notice some long faces?
Yes, the ones we found, most of them disappeared. Just didn't run into them. Amazing.
Why can't they get it together? Why did they punt on the infrastructure bill and went straight to this social safety net that everybody's going, why? I mean, why did they punt? Have you guys figured out, or are you just sitting back and letting them self-destruct?
Yeah, I have no idea. I think they just decided they were going to bow up and go forward with what they really wanted to do. It's crazy. I thought they might back off a little bit, but it didn't happen. So not sure why, but they're bent on passing what they've got, and I don't think they're going to do it, but we'll see what happens today. Today's a big day.
I remember. What is happening today?
Well, today we're going to vote on it. They went the rules yesterday, and we're going to vote on the big. I don't know what it is now. Sometimes it's $5 trillion, sometimes it's 3.5, sometimes it's 1.7. I don't know how big it is, but it's big.
How do you vote on something you don't even know what you're voting on?
A lot of people do it. I don't.
Yeah.
But I've read it. I've read enough stuff. Now they can just say, well, the one that was out, this was out, now it's in, and so forth. You can get a general feel of what the bill looks like.
How can you call it a mandate when I believe there's no Republican buy-in?
It's certainly not a mandate, and given the elections on Tuesday night, that even made it less of a mandate. I think there was a real reaction, and you would think, well, if it's just one or two races, but in Virginia, they took everything, including winning the House back and winning the lieutenant governor and attorney general, governor, all that stuff happened, nearly pulled off New Jersey. Matter of fact, in New Jersey, there's this guy, Ed Durr, who spent $153 and is ahead right now of the Senate president, who is the longest-serving legislator in the history of New Jersey. So if he pulls that one off, Steve Sweeney was his name, and that would be just a picture of how the people can win no matter what.
New Jersey's a weird place. They do have some very expensive government up there. They had Chris Christie, Republican governor, for a couple of terms. Now that the Democrats reelected, but it's been a very blue state with the exception of the chief executive. We're talking with Congressman Dan Webster. One of the things you want to talk about was the Resilient America Act.
Yes, well, I like resiliency. I like the fact that if you and to kind of give you what I believe the definition is, when you build a building, it's built strong enough to where if there's a storm or whatever, the next day you can occupy that building. Nothing wrong with that. I think in Florida we have had a lot of stuff that we've done after the several hurricanes all coupled together back about 15 years ago. We changed our building codes to where I think if those storms hit the same way, there wouldn't be hardly any damage. And so that means we've hardened the buildings through all kinds of things that we allow to do. And we've given credits on insurance for hardening your home. So all of those, I think, are good things. So I like the idea of resiliency. I like the idea of being able to bounce back quickly from whatever it is, not only hurricanes here, but there's tornadoes, windstorms, flooding, wildfires, all of that. And the better we can make them, the better it is, and the cheaper the insurance can be. So anyway, I like the idea of resiliency.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like necessarily the idea of what the Democrats have called resiliency. Sometimes I wonder if they're just making sure government is so resilient it bounces back to them every time.
I thought the big message from the elections yesterday was less about party and more about you field a good candidate who talks common sense, bread and butter kitchen table issues, and you're going to win. You look at the Democrat that beat out all the other Democrats to become the mayor. He was not the liberal one up there in New York City, and then this guy that won yesterday the governorship in Virginia. He wasn't an extreme guy. He was just talking about common sense in schools and getting your budget under control. They have a budget surplus there. Why not give some money back? Common sense stuff.
Yes. And I think the point is sticking to the issues, sticking to things that people care about as opposed to just ignoring them. We have inflation. Nobody wants to talk about that. We have rough streets and whatever, but in the end, the anti-police, fire the cops, get rid of them, whatever, all that failed on referendums. So, I think that it's the fact to key in on an issue, which he did. His was also in education. An area where Republicans really just don't do well, but he just felt for the families and the moms and dads, and said, they not only should they be back, but what they get taught, the moms and dads should have a little say in that. And nothing wrong with that. But the governor, at least the governor that they thought was going to be, the ex-governor,
McAuliffe,
he doubled down when they said, we just want to have a say, and they want to go to the school board meetings, and they want to have opportunities. He doubled down and said, look, parents don't have any say in this. That's really fighting against the populace, against the issues that are out there. And I think they did a great job. Even in Buffalo, which I thought was the most amazing election I've seen. The mayor of Buffalo, who is a Democrat but a moderate, was beaten by AOC's candidate in the primary. So he's out, except for the fact he was a write-in candidate, which is a very difficult way to run an election. You get your name put down at the bottom of the ballot. It's not even your name. It has a line for the write-in candidate. People went to the polls, and he smashed by having people write in his name, and so he beat the lady that beat him in the primary. So I thought that was a pretty good smack at the progressives.
Do you think that AOC has ever gotten out of her little district and traveled across America and knows that most of America does not look like her neighborhood?
I think she travels to the places that believe the way she does. That's it. Or there's a group of people that do. But I don't think she has a clue about what the people really think. Yeah, that's the majority of people.
That's the problem. This is a big country, and it's not just in your own backyard. And her issues may make sense for 100,000 people, but we have nearly 350 million. And I think right now, maybe forever, but right now, the Republicans that are running and the issues that are on the ballot, the conservatives and the Republicans have the winning message.
They do, and really, it's based on what people are feeling and knowing and whatever. You don't have to tell people there's inflation when they're going to the store a couple times a week. You don't have to tell people there's a problem with the border when you see all these people coming across and they're just being shipped into your neighborhood. So a lot of that is just obvious to the public, but unfortunately the people in charge here have ignored it.
Congressman Webster, thank you for your time. Anything else you want to bring up before I let you go?
No, it's great. Good to be on. Love the opportunity, and thank you for the privilege of just being able to speak my piece.
Good day in America yesterday. Continued good luck to you.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Talk to
sir.
you soon.